Hey, welcome to a new video. Elisa Lam is a 21-year-old girl who was last seen on camera footage in the elevator of the Cecil Hotel. This hotel is known for the abnormal number of people who have lost their lives there. Several ghosts were also reportedly sighted there. In the video, we can see Elisa acting as if she was being haunted by a person or a psychic force. She panically pushes the elevator buttons, hides, presses herself against the wall, and peeks around the corner on each floor. Eventually, she runs out of sight, and her body was later found in one of the tanks of the hotel roof. To this day, it remains a mystery exactly what had happened here. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. Not all creatures we manage to capture on camera can be attributed to supernatural power. After all, there are also a lot of creepy people in the world. This next moment happened to television star Danielle Yancey in Alabama. The video shows the exact moment a man wearing a Ronald Reagan face mask tried to enter her property. Fortunately, he did not enter. Danielle shared the video on the internet, not only to show the creepy incident, but also to see if the intruder can be identified. The scariest thing that can probably happen to you is an intruder coming into your home at night. At 2 a.m., it was also bizarrely scary for this following homeowner. The security camera in his bedroom showed an intruder running around on all fours. What would you do in that situation? The video shows him entering the house and crawling around looking for valuables. At one point, he steals a phone from the dresser, which is right next to the bed where the homeowner is sleeping peacefully. The man is said to have eventually woken up, and the intruder was scared and quickly ran off. Surely this must have been a very frightening moment, don't you think? This video came out in August of 2017, in which the Hernandez family were having dinner when the man suddenly noticed something on the security camera. He ran to the television screen and said, "What was that? Was that a person? Wait, what?" He and his wife looked back at the footage, and they saw a translucent figure walking along their driveway. Moments later, it became known that the previous occupant of the house had died, and that the house had been empty for a while. There were also stories being told that it might be haunted. The Hernandez family heard this for the first time, and believed that the figure they saw was possibly the ghost of the previous occupant, or at least something that is not from this world. Other people think it was just a person running. Unfortunately, we'll never really know for sure. Who's the victim here? The elevator or the little boy? A boy and a girl get on the elevator. To pass the time, the boy does an acrobatic move by pressing his feet against the elevator doors. Unfortunately, the elevator doors proved to be no match for his move, and the elevator broke down. They both panicked as smoke followed as the security doors completely disengaged. Later investigations revealed that there were no technical problems, and the boy had to reimburse the elevator. Do you think he's responsible for this? When your motion detectors start working, it might be best to see what you see on the camera before you physically step outside. In this case, the man had to run into a creepy alien-like creature. This homeowner said he kept getting alarms from his motion sensors, and they were turning on and off throughout the night. At first, he couldn't determine what exactly was causing it. But after looking at the video footage, he got his answer. And he wished he hadn't looked for it, because what he saw on camera was an alien appearing behind his fence who was probably scouting the neighborhood. You probably heard of hotels that are said to be haunted. The security camera of the Eagles Hotel in the American city of Quincy had also captured a ghost on camera. According to the staff working there, they would have seen shadows walking around mysteriously on several occasions. They had also heard strange and creepy giggling in the hallways. On the security camera, we can see a ghost walking to a maintenance cart and then disappearing again. While the cleaner is nowhere to be seen, we do see a strange figure. Could this be the mysterious shadow that hotel employees have been talking about? And was this ghost following the cleaner? After seeing this video, you can be sure that the cleaner will never leave his cart unattended again. When you stay at a hotel, do you ever wonder if the place is haunted? When you see this video, you realize that it's not smart to open umbrellas inside, and it's especially not smart to use an umbrella to hold an elevator door open. A boy from Fuzhou City, China tried to keep the elevator open for his father by sticking his umbrella between the elevator doors. However, sometimes elevators reach a point where the doors compulsively close no matter what is blocking them. The boy was caught in the elevator, and he remained there until he reached the 25th floor. There, the boy was fortunately helped, but this will certainly have been the last time he tries to do that again. The next story is pretty creepy, and I don't think you want to go through this. A man named Jeremy Kennedy from Pennsylvania heard strange noises coming from the attic one night. His wife and children were asleep, so at first he decided to turn around again. However, when he heard the same sounds another day, he decided to put up a security camera in the attic to find out what it was. When he looked back at the footage, he saw his 69-year-old neighbor crawling through the attic. So it turned out that the neighbor was spying on him and his wife several times when they were sleeping. The neighbor had drilled holes with his drill and made a removable wall to get to their attic. Jeremy went to the police with this evidence, and the man was arrested quickly. You probably heard of people who drop to the ground in the middle of the road in front of a car. This way, they try to sue you for money. In this video, the same trick seemed to be happening. But when the motorist got out, he saw no one around his car. No one would have believed this story if he had told it, but fortunately, everything was filmed with a security camera. As the car passes, we see a dark shadow appear and head toward the car. Then the man hits the brakes, and upon checking, he sees that the figure has disappeared. In this video, we see the last moment someone saw 19-year-old Kaneka Jenkins alive. She can be seen entering the elevator. 2 hours later, cameras catch her as she staggers through the hallways, clearly confused and scared. Somehow she ends up on a floor that takes her to the kitchen. This is when she was last seen and disappeared from view. According to the story, she would have walked into the freezer in the kitchen. 21 hours later, she was found there, no longer alive. Authorities say it was an accident, but others say she died in a more mysterious way. After a retired couple had already experienced multiple break-ins at their home in Yosemite, California, they pointed their security camera at the driveway. What they caught on security camera was pretty creepy. In the darkness of the night, two figures appeared. One is incredibly small, and the other is remarkably large. Most of their bodies seem to consist of their legs, and they only have a small upper body. What was later revealed is that these creatures were night crawlers, and they were said to have been seen everywhere from the United States to Europe. Do you believe that these creatures really exist, or what had they captured on camera here? Creepy clowns. I think most people want to stay far away from them. In 2016, many incidents of clowns were reported in the United States, Canada, and other countries. In this video that comes from 2014, a clown was spotted in California at someone's front door in the Springfield area. According to the story, a number of mysterious and terrifying clowns allegedly terrorized the streets for several weeks. Some people report seeing the clowns running out of the woods to scare people. But imagine if the doorbell rings at your house at night and you see a clown standing in front of your security camera. Pretty creepy, huh? In this next video, we see the outside of a prison in Campo Grande, a municipality in Brazil. There's not much happening at the beginning, but at a certain moment, we see a dark figure that people think is a ghost. The guards decided to post the camera footage on the internet to find out what people could think it would have been. Many think it was the ghost of a prisoner, while others say it's a black garbage bag floating through the air. It seems that the dark figure is trying to climb up something and then disappears from out of nowhere. I don't know if a garbage bag could move like that, but who knows. What do you think this was? Let me know in the comments. This is another reason why it's better to take the stairs than the elevator. This frightening incident took place in the Russian city of Krasnodar. The man wanted to enter the elevator, but right after that, a door mechanism error occurs. Fortunately, he reacted quickly and decided to exit the elevator. It was a survival instinct that had saved his life. If he had gone into the elevator, it would certainly have ended badly for him. There's many people in the world who do not believe in ghosts at all. However, many security guards who work in cemeteries and hospitals say that they have actually seen strange things happen from time to time. The man in this video did not initially believe in ghosts either. He's a security guard at a hospital and was on night shift. He explains that at one point, he felt a cold air fly by and decided to throw a book at it. When he looked back at the security camera, he believed it could have been a ghost or a deceased person floating by. So it looks like his opinion changed about ghosts after this event. Of course, it's not just ghosts and strange creatures that can make you shiver in fear. In fact, in this bungalow in Mumbai, a leopard can be seen trying to enter someone's house. And you know, leopards are among the most dangerous animals in the world. Not only do they prowl very silently, but they also are incredibly brave and aggressive. Even when injured, their instinct is to not run away, but to attack. They also will not hesitate to attack people if there's no other prey around. While the residents of this bungalow slept peacefully and thought they were perfectly safe, a leopard snuck in. Since leopards do this so silently, it was a miracle that a hero emerged within moments, the family's dog, who started barking like mad and chased this dangerous animal away. This man had just finished shopping and stepped into the elevator to go to his apartment. What happens next is something you don't even want to witness in your worst dreams. No matter how many buttons the man pressed, the elevator suddenly began to climb hard without stopping. Imagine how the man must have felt at this moment. The incredible thing about this story is that the man had somehow survived. Cruise ships are becoming more and more popular, and they're also getting bigger. Nowadays, they have literally everything. From swimming pools with water slides to music, dance, and comedy shows, sports fields, casinos, and much more. But before you decide to go on a cruise ship, remember that you're on the sea, and oceans can be pretty rough. This following video is from the Australian cruise ship Pacific Sun. In July of 2018, they ended up in a stormy weather with giant waves, and as you can see, the tables and chairs are flying back and forth, while the people on board are trying to hold on to anything and everything. Fortunately, everyone was fine in the end. The passengers got a 25% discount for their next cruise, and the cruise ship company had learned their lesson, because they were going to make sure they attached the furniture on board the next time. Noel Boyd is a man who was shown creepy CCTV footage by his brother who lived in Singapore. In the video, we see a ball of light moving through the apartment complex, which people say could be the energy of a ghost. The place where this happened was in Tampines, a neighborhood in Singapore. There's always much debate in the paranormal community whether orbs of light are actually ghosts, or if they are just dust particles. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Sometimes it's not the paranormal or supernatural moments that are the scariest. It can be our fellow humans who can act creepy, especially in an enclosed space. Here you have a woman being chased in an elevator and essentially trapped by a man of whom she seems to have an argument with. She was backed into a corner, and she was lucky that another woman was about to enter the elevator and noticed. The man tried to follow the woman, but the other woman realized what was going on and went after the woman. Fortunately, this moment had a happy ending. Security cameras are generally meant to provide you with security. Ring security cameras in particular are supposed to serve indoors, and they also help to keep an eye on you when you are away from home. But it can also happen that this safe device puts you in a nightmarish situation. A family in Mississippi, USA got the shock of their lives when an unknown hacker took over their Ring security camera system, which was set up in their children's room. The hacker began harassing their 8-year-old daughter. After gaining access to all the camera settings, the hacker was able to actually talk to the little girl. After she anxiously asked who he was, he introduced himself by saying he was her best friend, Santa Claus. Pretty creepy. If there was no camera to document this next instance, no one would have believed it happened. This creepy moment took place in a dorm and captured what looks like a poltergeist entering and terrorizing the room. A poltergeist is a ghost known to move objects or disrupt electrical equipment. In this video, we see a man lying on the bed who was suddenly pulled up by an invisible force. What I wonder after seeing this video is, how on earth can you fall asleep in the same room again? In this video, uploaded by a YouTube user named Julia, we see multiple paranormal events. She lives with her boyfriend somewhere in Russia, and they decided to hang up a camera because strange things happened in their house. One of the first things they capture on camera is when the kitchen salt is pushed over. A few weeks later, something even happens while they're both in the kitchen. Julia grabs an egg from the fridge while her boyfriend is playing with his phone. Just after that, the blender turns on out of nowhere. Julia gets scared and drops the egg on the floor. After that, a couple of weeks go by and nothing happens. One of the days after, the man is preparing some food, and the stove turns on, after which the pan slides towards it. The couple probably has a poltergeist in their home. What do you think? Sometimes paranormal things happen in elevators. In this video, 2 people walk into the elevator, and as they exit, we see a ghost appear behind one of them. Ghosts are often said to have unresolved issues, which is why they haunt certain areas. It's said by many people that this was a real ghost captured on camera. I wonder what happened to this elderly woman for her to show up in this elevator. Although her intentions are unknown, it's a frightening sight to see her running after one of the men. Don't you agree? In this next video footage uploaded by a homeowner, we see a strange figure looking pale. This occurrence was reportedly observed in the town of Moorhead in Kentucky, USA. According to the story, the figure would even have been lurking in the backyard of the house. The figure looked pale and lanky, but walked toward the car in a strange manner. Unfortunately, it's unknown what this creature had ended up being, but for the sake of the homeowners, let's hope it doesn't come back again. The next person was standing in an elevator, probably to go to work, and then suddenly Darth Vader stepped inside. Not the real Darth Vader, of course, but someone who was wearing a full costume. It's also not surprising that the person was completely surprised. Every expression of this man screams, "What's going on here?" The sound of Darth Vader's heavy breathing is enough to startle anybody. But not only Darth Vader stepped into the elevator, the rest of the Star Wars crew came in and started dancing, all while the man remained standing in the corner of the elevator. The following video was uploaded by a YouTube user in which he claims that his house is haunted. He tells that he has observed strange events on several occasions, so he decided to put up a camera, and the next day he was shocked. The lights were flickering and the doors were opening and closing randomly, which of course left him unable to shake the thought that his house was haunted. There were also strange noises coming from the bathroom, the furniture moved by an invisible force, and doors swung back and forth by themselves. At one point, he freaks out and runs out to call someone. Upon returning, he sees all his cabinets mysteriously open. But when he looked at the security camera and zoomed in on the door, he saw a head that appeared to be of a ghost. Pretty creepy if you ask me. Could this house really be haunted? The next video is from 2012, and we see several people getting into an elevator. As soon as they press the button to go to another floor, they suddenly hear a crackling sound. Just after the floor underneath them seems to disappear, and everyone who just got into the elevator scares themselves to death. Luckily, it wasn't a broken elevator, but just a prank by LG to promote their new televisions. The slogan she used for it was literally, "So real it's scary," so the company installed some new monitors in the elevator floor to scare the people. So it's not so much a scary video, but I think you would find it scary if it happened to you. The video also has more than 50 million views for a reason. And to this day, LG is very good at advertising their new products. This next scenario is one of the scariest, and the one you never want to experience as a parent. In the video footage, we see a man in the middle of a supermarket trying to lure a little girl away. Everything was captured by the security camera. Fortunately, the little girl was brave enough and started screaming, causing the man to let her go. The man ran off, but was later eventually arrested and had to go to jail for a long time. If you thought an overcrowded elevator made you feel trapped, an elevator filled to your chest with water will change that. 3 friends went to see the damage after a storm in Omaha, Nebraska, but they made the mistake of taking the elevator. This is why it's always recommended to take the stairs in case of an emergency. When they reached the lobby, the elevator came to a screeching halt, and water began pouring in. Before the authorities arrived, they decided to save themselves. The water was up to their necks, but fortunately, they were able to make sure the water eventually flowed out. If you encountered a bear, who would be more afraid, you or the bear? Probably you. But in this next video, both seem to be afraid of each other. In the area where this woman lives, bears are said to roam from time to time. But when she walked up to the car and saw the bear coming out of it, it scared her to death. The bizarre thing is that the whole event was captured on a surveillance camera. The bear gets out of the car and the woman panics and runs away screaming. Meanwhile, the bear is also quite frightened, but then runs away and curiously sniffs around a bit. According to the story, the bear was looking for fruit. Would you run away if you met a bear, or not? Speaking of creepy incidents on the street, take a look at this video footage and imagine yourself in this man's place. You're walking down the street, and out of nowhere, a figure seems to appear on the ground in front of his feet. Some people in the comments claim that the figure came from another dimension or wormhole. However, it remains a very mysterious video, because where else could this figure have come from? What do you think? Whoever thought up this prank with the mannequins put a lot of effort into it. In the elevator were 2 mannequins who were taken and 2 people dressed as a mannequin leaning against the wall. When one person finally got into the elevator, they got the fright of their life. People's reactions ranged from laughing to screaming, and in one case praying. If you were standing in that elevator and that big mannequin suddenly came to life, you probably would have been startled too. Not all terrifying events through the lens of a camera are of supernatural or extraterrestrial origin. In this video footage, we see the aftermath and shockwaves of a devastating earthquake in Nepal. When this happens, much chaos immediately ensues. But as you can see, not only are motorcycles affected by the shaking of the earth, but riders literally lose their balance. The earthquake is said to have reached several levels. As you can see, vans started tilting and people hesitate whether to leave their cars in the middle of the road or sit on the ground to make themselves small. As people entered this elevator, the elevator floor was ripped away from under their feet. Where do you think they'll come out? A Japanese TV program showed the reactions of people who unwittingly stepped into an elevator and almost immediately fell through the floor into the abyss. This camera, of course, captured their reaction in slow motion. There were people who screamed, who stood with their mouths open, and also those who accepted their fate. Of course, it wasn't a real abyss they fell into, but a slide that took them to another area. This next person lives alone, somewhere in the mountains far away from the nearest town. In the video, we can see that it's winter and a strange woman suddenly walks by on security camera. But what is this woman doing on a cold and wet night in the mountains while it's pitch black? This is obviously very strange behavior, because what would she be doing in a remote place? Did she lose something? Was she drunk? The man who uploaded the video footage on YouTube has no idea himself. Some people in the comments thought she might be trying to break in, but a little later, the woman walks by again. Could she have seen the security camera? What do you think? The next event is a series of videos uploaded by Jeff Richards. Jeff has a neighbor who, according to him, is behaving very strangely. So he decided to hang up a security camera, and what he captured is quite disturbing. His neighbor walks around at night at about 2 o'clock, and with a flashlight in his hand, and even looks into Jeff's garden. Of course, he could have lost something, but the strange thing about this is that the neighbor does it several times, for months. In this video, we see the neighbor looking over the fence again, and just after that, he notices the security camera and smiles at it. It's also strange that he regularly walks to the same place, as if he's buried something there. Jeff says he's reported his neighbor, but they don't do anything about it. What do you think this neighbor's up to? Let me know in the comments. This is a story of an unexplained alien abduction of a man in the middle of the night. The man was working a night shift as a security guard when a flash of light appeared, causing the man to suddenly disappear. Moments later, he reappeared in the security camera image, appearing disoriented and had his hands on his knees. According to the letter attached to the release of the surveillance footage, the man allegedly quit his job and then moved out. Do you believe that this man was abducted by aliens? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever seen that moment in Captain America: Civil War where Steve Rogers gets into an elevator and is followed by the entire SWAT team? He was able to fight out thanks to his shield and enhanced skills. But is the same true for an average person? Here you would see what would happen if a dressed man stepped into an elevator on a normal workday, only to be stopped by the entire SWAT team. The suspense could almost be cut off with a knife. Should he recognize that he's effectively trapped between them, or should he wait for them to say something? What would you do in his place? Originally, this video was categorized as a baby monitor catching an intruder, but if you watch the video for more than a few seconds, you start to wonder if it was a human intruder or maybe a ghost. Many people in the comments have pointed out that this figure, even without the glowing eyes, doesn't look all that human. The owners of the house say nothing was stolen, nor could they find any sign of a break-in. Pretty creepy. A ghost playing Knock Knock Who's There scared the crap out of a homeowner and her pet one afternoon. The woman was waiting with her dog for her package when her phone received a notification from the doorbell camera. Although she had looked out the window and seen nothing, her dog started barking wildly, and the animal even ran to the door. To the naked eye, nothing was wrong, but the camera footage told a different story. The camera shows that at the same time, on the left side, there was a ghostly figure sitting on a bench. But this wasn't all. Moments later, the ghostly figure crossed the street and disappeared from view. Everyone that watched the video footage told the woman that it was a real ghost. Some even claimed it was a guardian angel, but she herself thinks differently. However, the bench did have some meaning for her. It had been given to her by a neighbor, who later died. Could the figure in the video have been her neighbor? Men in black are men in black suits, and according to conspiracy theories, are government agents harassing people who claim to have seen UFOs. Some even suggest that they are aliens dressed up as normal people. In 2018, a video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Apex TV, in which we see a man walking into a law firm somewhere in Alaska. On the security camera, we see a woman named Nicole sitting behind her desk. The man seemed to ask her a question, on which she grabbed something from the drawer, probably to protect herself. However, the man remains calm, and he gives the woman an instruction, after which she grabs a camera from a bag. Eventually, they both walk outside, and here the story starts to get very strange. According to Nicole, she was taken to a room and put to sleep, while the man was communicating with telepathy with something or someone. It turned out that Nicole had visited a cave the weekend before, and had probably recorded something on the camera that needed to be erased. Furthermore, Nicole discussed more creepy things in an interview with Apex TV. I don't know if this event is really true, but the fact is that it's not the first time the men in black have been captured on camera. How would you react if this happened to you as you stepped into an elevator? It's all fun and games until the elevator starts descending at an alarming speed. You can see the different reactions: people panicking, people falling over in terror, or people trying to lean on others. One woman is so scared that she even drops her lunch. What would your reaction be if you look outside and see chaos? Don't worry though, this video was a prank and wasn't a real event. Here we have another creepy moment that took place on a sunny day. According to the homeowner himself, he was working when he looked at the security camera and saw a strange, creepy figure. He described it as something straight out of a horror movie. Unfortunately, the quality is not too good, and the camera seems to falter as the figure walks by, almost as if its energy is affecting the technology. But what was it? The homeowner's theories range from a scary nun to a witch or even a clown. Welcome to Long Arms, Wiltshire, home of the most haunted pub in the southwest of England. Long Arms has released their own video footage to show how obviously haunted this pub is. On an ordinary evening, when the pub was relatively empty, a glass spontaneously shattered, while no one else was touching it. The glass shattered and the fragments landed on the floor right in front of the woman, who was shocked. But this instance wasn't the only one that gave the pub the reputation of being the most haunted in the city. In the 10 years or so that the current owner has now owned the pub, he has reported numerous spooky occurrences. Ghost-like things happen to himself, but also the visitors. According to the owner, one of the recurring ghosts would be a man picking up apples from the garden and sitting at the table with children. But the most famous ghost is that of a black and white dog, which is sometimes so lively that it chases the children around the tables. This video was posted to the Reddit forum by the user Spiders Are Disgusting somewhere in December 2019. According to the user, this video was filmed in Norway by a friend of his brother's. If we look at the footage, you can see a figure coming from under the trampoline at the bottom left. According to the guy, he still doesn't know who or what this could have been. Many people in the comments compared the figure with the scary girl from the 2002 movie, The Ring. Others think that it might have been a homeless person taking a nap under the trampoline. But the fact that the figure seems to be wearing some kind of white dress makes it very creepy. Others thought that it might have been a ghost. Unfortunately, the video is only very short, but what do you think it was? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever seen that little sign that says elevators can hold a certain weight or number of people? That sign is there for a reason. This video shows an elevator can easily become overloaded because a lot of people get in. So when you see this warning, it's smart not to enter the elevator anymore. On some elevators, you'll also hear a beeping alarm sound. If I were to experience this in real life, I would rather take the stairs when I see so many people in the elevator at the same time. Would you? Advantages of having a security camera around your home is that you can stop thieves in their tracks, or at least prove that something was stolen. The disadvantages, however, are that you can also capture something that can haunt you for the rest of your life. As you can see in this video footage, creepy things don't just happen at night. In fact, the woman claims to have captured a ghost on her security camera in broad daylight. Would you move if you knew your house was this haunted? Have you ever seen something creepy on your security camera? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.